Guess what? I hate this.
Hey, hon, you want to close my door when you leave?
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
I know words. I have the best words.
He took a break from being disruptive to enjoy the company of her male companion. He briefly had a grasp on the situation before ushers returned.
Take a look at the oranges of the... Look, wait. They sacrifice every day for the furniture.
Some words that have been said about you.
Okay. Nazi wine mom, Nazi cave woman.
I don't let name calling bother me or offend me.
This one's from someone across the pond, a daft wanker. That's British for stupid. Lives on a diet of glue sticks. A lower level life form.
Cephahide. He's a war hero because he was captured.
And welcome to the show, everybody. It was a heck of a week. Not much happening really anywhere except for the Trump trial. And if you've missed it, the minute by minute, second by second, statement by statement coverage on MSNBC was a bit much. That's just me, though. I mean, I was interested. I tried watching like 12 times, and I was like, oh, so not much is happening that you're spending all day on. Okay. But other than that, how was your week, Dawn? How did everything go?
It was the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is what it was.
Oh, so we're doing a big word contest. Is that what you're saying? Wow. So you're swinging for the fences right out of the gate. Nice. Good job.
I got paid $10 for that word. I wanted to use it.
Well, I understand. I would like to acknowledge our new show sponsor. No, it's a big surprise, but we've got one sponsor. And that's Legacy Law Firm. You'll be hearing from them in a little bit. What can I say about this place? They're close to my heart. They're like family. If if you're getting old like me, about ready to kick the bucket, go there so that the state don't get all your stuff. They'll make sure that some other moron you want it to go to will get it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We're probably gonna have to figure out something better than that. But.
Yeah. We'll edit that part out and redo
it. Well, I would like to say hello to our loyal and faithful viewer, Deborah, my lovely wife.
Yay, Debbie's here.
Poor woman must love me dearly. She turns into every show.
We know you make her.
The things you women do to support your men. I don't know that I could do it. But, oh well. So let's get started this week with the trial update.
Yeah, not too much of an update, huh?
Yeah, not so much,
They held off on closing arguments till after the long holiday weekend so that closing arguments would be fresh in everybody's minds. And so they had closing arguments yesterday and gave it to the jury today.
What they give it to them? They did ask the judge, sent the judge a note, and I The only reason I'm aware of that is because I happen to be watching MSNBC and they covered every second of it with breathless anticipation. And they were asking for some of the testimony from Pecker, you know. Excuse me. They asked for refresh on testimony for like 3 people.
Okay.
So, now I thought that, it should be obvious the man's guilty of something, so it should have taken like 15 minutes to come back with a guilty verdict. But
Well, I haven't watched MSNBC since last week, so I have no clue what they're talking about. But
guess what? They're talking about nothing but.
But it's not, did he pay hush money or not? Everybody knows he did. I mean, he originally said he didn't, but it's pretty clear that he did. And that's fine. That's not illegal. The problem is creating false business records to cover it up, to make it seem like it was something other than hush money payments, and then proving that the reason that they did that was so that it wouldn't get out and impact the campaign, because that is fraudulent intent, and that's what's a felony, is the intent to cover it up.
Well, yeah, but you think of it from Cheeto Mussolini's point of view. When you commit that much fraud on a daily basis, you're going to lose track of what could get you in trouble and what couldn't.
Yeah, but so that's what the ticky tacky stuff that they're going to have to figure out is, sorry, yeah, you're keeping
restock it, crime in Italy. Now you got me doing it.
But figuring out the intent to commit the other crime of covering it up, that's what they're going to have to really debate about.
Right.
Did he or didn't he pay hush money? There's no debate on that.
Right. And you informed me earlier that they do have to go through each count individually, and there's 34 of them. So
yeah, they'll have to go through each one. So I wouldn't expect them to be done deliberating this week, even. So because it's complicated and and there's a lot of counts, and there's 2 attorneys on the jury, like you said. So
which is gonna,
they're going to want to be real detail oriented, and
they're gonna be thinking they're billing by the hour, so they're gonna drag this thing out for a month. They attorneys,
scum of the earth,
land sharks. Yeah. So really, I mean, that is the trial update. Just sit and watch and wait. There's not much going to happen, for a couple of days anyway. But you were wanting to talk a little bit about the Supreme Court.
SCOTUS update. SCOTUS.
Woo-hoo.
So the latest is that Senators Whitehouse and Durbin and others were calling for Alito to recuse himself from the 2 Trump-related, insurrection-related cases that are before the Supreme Court because of the flag incidents.
Right.
And now we know there's not one flag incident where he flew an upside-down American flag on his flagpole at his house for several days. Also, there's a second flag incident where at his vacation home, they were flying the tree, the Christian tree.
Tread on me. Or whatever. Yeah.
the one with the Christian tree.
Yeah, the damn
that,
truck thing.
that was also carried by several people at the insurrection, and is a insurrectionist flag.
Yeah.
And the latest on that is that Alito sent a letter back to Congress saying that he would not recuse himself because the flag flying incidents did not rise to the level of requiring recusal, because he and his wife did not know that those flags had those meanings.
Okay. So here's the problem. Justice Alito, you're a douchebag. You didn't know that those flags had that meaning. So what you're telling the American people is that you're too effing stupid to be a Supreme Court justice.
No, what he's saying is that he thinks that we're so stupid that we would have believed that. Yeah.
Something's got to give here. Somebody's got to step in and do something.
He also said that, he actually had nothing to do with the flying of the flags.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was his wife.
Oh. Well, you and Clarence need to get together and get these bitches under control.
And furthermore, neither he nor his wife knew of the meanings that are now ascribed to the flags. Well, it's not now. They were carrying those flags at the January 6th insurrection, and this happened after that. So it's not like 2 years later this suddenly has some new meaning.
Well, I know what it is.
Too.
I know. I figured it out, Don. I know what it is.
Yeah.
Justice Alito's wife, she's going through some home movies of a big get together they had within the last few years, and she just happened to see some of the people at the party were carrying these really cool flags, and she was like, "You know what? I like those flags. We're going to go out and we're going to fly those because those are cool." That's why it's just that simple.
Actually, they the ones at the house, they did have a dispute with the neighbor, and but that doesn't excuse it. The neighbors were, let's see, I think it was originally when the Dobbs decision came out, they made some handmade signs, and put them up. And I can't remember what the other one, but it was basically during COVID, and they made these signs, and so in response to that, she flew an upside down flag. And there was also an incident where Mrs. Alito ran after them when they were driving in their car and spit toward them. So if you read more about it, it sounds like Mrs. Alito is flies off the handle pretty easily.
A little bit. Well, I'm just going to say I'm glad they're not my neighbor, because they would be sick and tired of the amount of burning doggy poo bags that are on their front porch. I'm just saying that could be a regular occurrence.
Additionally, Senator Durbin and Senator Whitehouse, they took some hard, effective, hard-hitting action. Boy, it's ironclad. It's destined to get results.
Also, they used both hands.
What they did was they wrote a letter.
A letter.
They wrote a letter to Justice Roberts saying,
Strongly worded? Was it strongly worded?
It was a strongly worded letter. You should make Justice Alito recuse himself.
Yeah.
Now, of course, this comes, if you Google it, like I did, you will find that Senator Durbin wrote letters in 2023 and 2022.
So what you're saying is there's a big circular file with a lot of his letters in them.
I'm saying that they wrote a meaningless letter. It isn't going to do jack. Yeah. Wasted time. Severely disappointed in Senator Durbin. He needs to grow a pair and actually do something.
Yeah, I mean,
He needs to start impeachment hearings.
yeah, I mean, they already have somebody somewhere, I forget who it was, that put it in motion. It got the thing started, and it's just sitting there. Or someone called for impeachment, and nothing's happening. It's ridiculous.
Well, let's see.
I mean, if Congress gave a rat's ass about their approval ratings, they would start impeachment on these jokers just to improve their approval ratings. Because the only group of people that has a lower approval rating than Congress is Supreme Court. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't see that anybody has actually filed for impeachment proceedings or actually.
No, I said someone's been calling for it. It was a representative somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Jamie Raskin, among others. So,
yeah, there it is.
Yeah, they definitely. I don't see why they can't start an impeachment inquiry over it, because those are flags that were to back the Stop the Steal movement. And I don't care if he says his wife did it. He's married, and it's his house. And I could say my dog did it, or if it's
Right.
his house, he's responsible for it.
Yeah.
He shouldn't let his wife do it. His wife might have freedom of speech, but it needs to be on something that's hers. Like, if she can write a letter with her name on it and put her freedom of speech there.
Hey, you don't know their personal relationship. Maybe all of that property is in her name. I mean, she kind of sounds like a Spitfire, and he seems to be kind of henpecked.
Regardless, he has homestead rights. He lives there.
I'm just saying.
All belongs to him.
Just saying.
So yeah, they should start an impeachment inquiry, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's long overdue.
And I did send him that message on Threads.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You wasted almost as much time as Senator Durbin. Wow.
No, probably less still, but
wow. You are in high.
I might go to the next step and make a call. Watch out! I'm gonna make a call.
Woohoo! Gonna get this fixed up and hurry. Don't make me make a phone call.
I bet he's receiving hundreds of calls. So I unless people are just saying it and not doing it, but I would think that he's getting lots of calls.
I would say there's quite a bit of that saying it and not doing it going on.
So so that's it. So Clarence Thomas is kind of out of the limelight now, but he should also be in there too.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, give him 10, 15 minutes. He'll get another RV out of some sucker.
Mm-hmm.
Never know. I am planning an all-inclusive trip to the Bahamas, Clarence. What do you think? A little recusal? Huh? Yeah. You and the missus sipping Mai Tais. Come on. What do you think? What do you think? I don't know. He passed up 2 million a year. So
Yeah. John Oliver saves money, but he didn't take it. Too bad.
yeah, very true. Very true. Well, from one group of sickening, despicable individuals to another, I know that you've been collecting a little hardship pay for your assignment on your deep dive into Project 2025. And wow, you're hiding yourself. There you go. I must say,
Oh, and this isn't all of it. It's 900 pages. This is just the first chapter.
I'm with you. I will say that I dub my chapeau to you for the bravery that you've shown in this assignment. So, okay, go ahead. What have you figured out so far?
Okay, so to recap, for anybody who doesn't know, Project 2025 is a manifesto. Take off the popular vote thing. We're not there yet.
Well, I got it going the whole time. Oh, sorry, I got going on.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're right.
It's a manifesto created by the Heritage Foundation, which is the same outfit that created Reagan's plan for governance, which was implemented by Reagan. And it's basically, if you like what Reaganomics has done for us, you'll really love this. Because it's basically doubling and tripling down on what they started under Reagan. So, and
Nice.
geez, everything is so much better since Reagan, right?
Hey, the people loved Reagan.
Anyway, so it's built on 4 pillars that they think this is how we rework government. This is how we redo the whole thing. There's 4 pillars that'll hold us up. And the first pillar is that we must restore the family as the centerpiece of American life, and as a way to protect children.
That's right. I mean,
what that has to do with government?
No, the family, that's very important. The family is very important. Just ask the Duggars.
And then the second,
if you got 30 or 40 of them, and only one of them turns out to be a pedophile rapist, you're doing pretty good.
Right?
Right.
Then the second pillar is dismantling the administrative state in favor of self-governance. Because we all know how well self-governance works.
You know what? I think they're onto something. Because I have recently thought about declaring
yourself as a government,
my piece of property as the
kingdom of
as
state,
as the solemn state of Weekopolis.
And the third is defending the borders.
Yes.
Although that's kind of the opposite of what Reagan did with his amnesty program, but whatever. And
but they were Cubans, you know.
Secure individual rights to live freely, which sounds like mumbo jumbo to me. But so under the first pillar of restoring the family, they believe that what they say their beliefs are based on a lot of fallacies, a lot of incorrect propositions. Not prepositions; those are grammar.
Other than there are 4 pillars. It makes me feel like the Heritage Foundation is run by a bunch of libertarians with a smattering of evangelical Christian.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah. Yep.
That would,
Right on.
right? Yeah.
Right on. Yep.
So that sounds about right. What it is. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So, the well-being of the American family, restoring the family as a centerpiece and protecting children, because of course it's not evangelicals who are pedophiles at all. Their premise is that centralized political power, which is what they call a strong, central government administrative state, that the whole purpose of that is to replace people's natural loves with unnatural loves. So mixing up homophobic references and...
They didn't say anything about homophobia. Not the least bit. What that is they want to replace people's natural love. In other words, the love of a naturally green, lush lawn with an artificial love of those crazy desert dwellers that like freaking AstroTurf. I mean, I can get behind that. You shouldn't have a lawn unless you plant it and grow it your damn self.
No, that's not.
Put yourself up by the bootstraps. Put a little work in there.
They're not talking about that. They're not talking about that because they also say straight out. They say that real people want community, not government. Real people. They are the real people in this scenario. Anybody who doesn't believe what they believe, those are not the real people.
Are they artificial people?
That would be the implication, yeah. They're not real people. You're not real. Their next contention it really bugs me because their next contention is that fatherlessness is the cause of all of America's ills. Specifically, crime, poverty. I can see it as a contributing factor. Absolutely. There is a contributing factor there. But then they say that it also causes mental illness and teen suicides. Now, there might be some cause, there might be some, relations with teen suicide to fatherlessness, but it doesn't cause it though. It also doesn't cause mental illness. How do you get diagnosed with schizophrenia and the psychiatrist says, oh, you don't have a father? Well, that's obviously why you have schizophrenia. What is that?
Well, I mean,
I'll tell you what that is. That's not a thing. That's what that is. It's not a thing.
And on that note, we're going to take a break because I think my brain just broke a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and have a commercial break and come back and continue on with more of this hoopty-doopy, lolly-patoopy stuff. It's all nuts to me, but we'll be right back. So please stay tuned.
Every day we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
In a world where the future can seem uncertain, there's one place you can turn to for guidance and peace of mind. Legacy Law Firm, owned and operated by attorney Dawn Weekly. With Attorney Weekly's expertise in elder law, you can trust that your family's legacy is in capable hands.
At Legacy Law Firm, we understand the importance of planning for the future, whether it's drafting a will, navigating Medicaid, or protecting your assets, we're here to help. Attorney Weekly made the process seamless and stress-free.
Her knowledge and dedication are truly exceptional.
Don't leave your family's future to chance. Contact Legacy Law Firm today and schedule your consultation with Attorney Dawn Weekly. Legacy Law Firm, helping you build a lasting legacy from one generation to the next.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
And we're back. I feel a little better after that slight palate cleanser. But you know what? Enough of that panty stuff. Let's get deep right back into it and continue with the crazy.
Okay, so basically, in this first pillar, they want to use government power to reverse the crisis that is the abuse of the American family. And here,
wait a minute. But hold on. They just said that there shouldn't be government power. So they need to take it amongst themselves to fix these problems and not have.
No, they said they want to dismantle the administrative state. That doesn't mean that they want to forego all of government power.
I see. Okay.
Those are 2 different things. So what they're going to do, how they're going to restore family is to eliminate the marriage penalty in welfare and the tax codes. Well, that seems reasonable. Add work requirements to TANF, temporary aid to needy families. Well, guess what, folks? There already is a work requirement.
Thank you, Bill Clinton.
And use the tax code to restore the family. I have no idea what that means. Maybe they'll give specifics later. But they also believe that doing the following will somehow restore the power of the American family. In every federal regulation, contract, grant, or legislation, they want to go back and delete the following words: sexual orientation, gender identity, DEI, gender equality, gender equity, gender awareness, gender sensitive, abortion, reproductive health, reproductive rights. If you just eliminate those words.
Well, I'm going to tell you that I think there's only a couple of those things that have any of those words in them at all.
What?
I'm just going to say.
What?
There's only a couple of government things that have any of those words in them at all.
I think you're wrong. What are you thinking? I think you're wrong, but what are you thinking?
Well, you're right. There's probably a shit ton of them.
Yeah.
I was being them for a minute.
Oh, okay. They would also outlaw pornography.
What?
Yeah, completely
Excuse
outlaw.
me. There's a lot of older married men that need that to get through each and every day.
Nope, outlawed. And
Oh.
any educator or librarian who purveys pornography to anyone would have to register as a sex offender.
Well, you know, that makes total sense because I can't remember the last time a teacher didn't show me porn or a librarian say, hey, you know, that copy of Jugs, we need it back in a week. I can understand that. That makes total sense to me.
Yep, registered sex offenders. And any telecommunications company that allowed pornography over its platform would be shuttered, closed. They would also have universal school choice with parents as the primary educator. And anybody who disagreed, any school or school board or school school district, anybody who disagreed with that would lose all their federal funding. And they would eliminate social media for children. Can't say I disagree with that one though.
Yeah. The problem is there's like one or two things that I'm like, I can see the point of those, but the rest of it is complete wackadoodle.
Yes.
Wackadoodle.
Yeah.
I mean, those conservative uptight fucks at the Heritage Foundation, if they outlawed porn, every one of those people would be in jail the next day.
Yeah. And what's porn? Is Lady Chatterley's Lover porn? Or is it a classic?
Oh, that's right. They don't call out a description of said porn, do they?
Right. Right. Then finally, Dobbs is just the beginning, as they say. They want to have federal money spent for adoption and abortion alternatives.
Federal money spent for adoption and abortion alternatives.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means. Maybe they'll be more detailed later. But that is the basic overview of how they feel that the government should restore the family as the centerpiece.
Sounds to me like they're looking for a 50-cent solution to all them abortions and adoptions. That's what I'm thinking. So
then for their pillar of dismantling the administrative state, this is the good one as far as I'm concerned. They basically, in this section, they go on a rant against the administrative state. And it's all factually questionable. First, they disparage the current budget process and say it's unconstitutional because Congress is supposed to pass 12 budgets a year, and they only do one omnibus spending budget, and they threaten to shut down the government if it's not passed, and it's 1,000 pages, and nobody can read it, and saying it's been like that since 1996, and
because the Heritage Foundation is lobbying for that shit.
It's like, yeah, your people are the ones who started that. Newt Gingrich. They were the first ones to do it. And it does say in here, since 1996. It's like, yeah, that was Newt Gingrich, remember? Remember? That's your people. What do you and now you're railing against it as some unconstitutional process? Okay, all right, great. They also assert that the Environmental Protection Agency has strangled domestic energy production. I hate to tell them, but we are at record high production levels in the energy sector.
Yeah, because of the addition of all the green energy that's been added. The
So it's like
solar and
exactly
wind
the
power.
opposite. We're at the highest level of energy production that record highs, more than Saudi Arabia ever produced.
And it's because even with the new plants that are closing, we've got so many solar and wind farms now.
No, I'm
that
talking about
it's-
oil.
I know, but I'm saying that, you know, the reason that it's going up and, you know, will stay stable is because of the green energy.
The
'Cause
reason
they're-
that oil production is so high is due to new technology and our ability to extract more oil.
Well, wait a minute. You said energy.
I said energy. But they said
Energy is a lot more than just oil.
it is. But
But are they only referring to oil?
They are not only, they said domestic energy production. However, they're not talking about wind and solar. When they say domestic energy production and talking about the EPA, how it has strangled energy production, they're not talking about wind and solar. They're talking about oil and natural gas, because that's where the EPA comes in, is with that.
The EPA also rules on the other, but you're right.
But more in an expansive way than a contraction way. And even if you lump wind and solar in there with the added record levels of production of oil, domestic energy production has not been strangled at all. It is record high. So exactly the opposite of what they contend in this manifesto is what reality is, no matter how you slice it.
I understand.
Okay. Then they also say that the Department of Homeland Security helps migrants criminally enter the country. I'm not sure how they do that.
Do they offer any examples?
They just make that bold assertion without explaining why they think it's criminal, what kind of help is provided. You know, are they talking about people seeking asylum? Are they talking about people who cross without going through checkpoints? What are they? They don't say. They just say DHS helps migrants criminally enter the country.
So basically, all this is a these are just mega bullet points with nothing sustaining them or supporting them.
In this
Because
section,
because the MAGA people don't require any of that.
In this section 2, where they want to where they say that you should dismantle the administrative state in favor of self-governance. Basically, it's just a list of bald assertions without support, most of them being either false or so bland that you can't even make a determination whether it's false or not, like this one. They next say that the Department of Education injects racist, anti-American, ahistorical propaganda. They don't explain what that is or how, just they do. The Department of Justice forces schools to undermine girls' sports to satisfy transgender extremists.
Yeah, I saw a commercial. There's a charity protecting the rights of female athletes for $19.95 a month. We can protect the right to female athletes. The only female athlete that's ever had any issue was once with a swimmer.
Yeah.
Said swimmer doesn't swim in college anymore. It's not a thing. But
because
if you watch that commercial, you would think that it is happening everywhere at every level. And it's a flim flam to steal your money.
Yeah. And when we were talking about it, isn't it? I mean, there's rules. They have to not participate for, and they have to be on hormones for so long. And
No, those were the rules that I said should be implemented. There aren't any, but if there was a transgendered person who wanted to compete in female college athletics, or the opposite way around, that they should have to be on all their treatments and get everything taken care of for at least a year before they're allowed to compete, so that the hormones have the chance to, you know, reduce the bone density and decrease the muscle mass.
Yeah.
So that there isn't the, you know, so it isn't unfair.
Okay, but right now there's no, like, I could compete in boys track and field today, and tomorrow I guess what? I decided I'm transgender. Now I'm going to run in a girls one the next day.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well,
I mean, you would have to, you know, I'm sure there's some rigmarole, but nothing like what I'm proposing is in place yet.
okay, well, but I don't think that the Department of Justice forces schools to do that. I don't think that that's what the purpose of the Department of Justice is. I'm not sure
The
how
Department of Justice doesn't force the NCAA to do anything.
I don't think that that's a thing. Then they say the military forces training about white privilege. Not being in the military, I'd have to defer on that, but I can't imagine that that's happening in the military. But
you think that they're taking, you know, a couple days out of basic to train soldiers about white privilege? Really?
Then why?
They're wasting time in soldiers' MOS training to discuss white privilege?
Yeah, I don't know.
That statement was written by somebody who's never set foot on a military base.
Probably.
Let alone served.
Then they assert that the Department of State, I guess, infuses foreign aid with woke extremism about intersectionality and abortion.
Okay, wait a minute. That's a made-up word followed by abortion to make it sound bad.
Yeah, that's such a word salad that I can't even determine what it means, much less whether it's true or not. But that's basically all they got.
The State Department is funding abortion? Is that maybe?
Infusing foreign aid with woke extremism about intersectionality and abortion. I have no idea what that, what they're really saying there. But that's all.
They're not saying anything. That was the first half of that was merely to be able to say abortion. Simply.
Probably.
Department of State and abortion.
Yeah.
I mean, if you whittled this whole thing down to the things that they're actually looking for, it would be the Department of State and abortion, Department of Justice with
transgender
people. What was the other one? The Homeland Security with illegal aliens. That's all they should have done, was just put out the, one equals the other chart. Boom, 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 boom.
You're right. I see that now. You're right. I see that. Yeah. They're trying to make each department seem evil.
I think what they did was they only entered that chart into like a chat GPI whatever program, and it spent out this 900-page document.
Wow.
That's what I think is this.
Well, because their whole second prong of dismantling the administrative state, all they do is make accusations about different agencies or departments that are unfounded, unsubstantiated, and unexplained. So then moving on to the third prong, which is our borders. They do initially talk about unfettered trade with China and say that it has been a catastrophe, which is interesting because I thought the Heritage was all about free trade. What wasn't the Heritage Foundation all about free trade? Weren't they all over that?
I mean, the whole, globalization and, open markets, free market society. What happened there, folks?
Yeah, I thought they were all about the free trade.
Yeah,
but they said that it's a catastrophe. Then they go on a rant against big tech and its pursuit of profit over values. And isn't that them with the whole laissez-faire economic thing and no regulation? Isn't that the pursuit of profit over everything else?
I know, but just so you know, I'm going to hear them out on this. Let's regulate them. I'm all for it.
I mean, yeah, and so far they're like screaming our chorus, but for different reasons. But basically, to sum up, they say China bad. But the problem is not corporations and their profit-seeking motives and lack of ethics. It is that America's elites betrayed the American people. So the whole big tech and trade with China, that was all America's elites behind that, not corporations.
What?
And they say we must rip out the tree, root, and branch.
Wait a minute. They need to explain to me where the American elites are not corporations.
Elites, intellectuals, liberals.
Oh yeah, teachers who don't have a pot, the people who don't have a pot to piss in are to blame for the business dealings with China.
Right, and they talk about well, where is it?
So wait a minute. So
billionaire climate activists is something they also refer to, which is like, no, that's not a thing.
The only one that's remotely close to that was Bill Gates, and he just wanted to get everybody shitters.
Yeah, they're confused. But so they say that we should end international organizations and agreements that erode our Constitution, rule of law, or popular sovereignty.
Well, you got to get the popular sovereignty out of there because that erodes the Constitution.
End illegal immigration. There's a throwaway. End trade with China, period.
I'm all for it.
Restore manufacturing and industrial base. I'm all for that. And they're talking about something called Confucius Institutes. I don't know what that is, but they made it sound like China infiltrating universities is what they made it sound like. But I have no idea. I didn't look it up yet either. And they want to outlaw that and outlaw TikTok.
Man, somebody needs to check and see if somebody needs to check the ink that this thing's printed with, because I'm thinking this thing's straight off of Putin's printer.
And we should assert America's energy interests around the world because American dominance of global energy markets is what will, let's see, pillar 3, defend our borders.
Well, hey, if they're talking about going in and kicking OPEC's ass, I'm all for that. I say we go in and shove a couple rockets up all those cable jockeys' asses.
But I think that they mean assert America's energy interests by doing things like Operation Iraqi Liberation or whatever it was, where we go in and take people's oil.
Yeah.
We colonize them to take their oil. I think that's what I read between the lines.
Yeah.
So that was protecting our borders. That was pillar 3. Pillar 4 is securing individual rights to live freely. So they contend that the pursuit of liberty and happiness is found in family, marriage, children, and Thanksgiving dinners.
No, because marriage and children takes away all your fucking liberty. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
They say that the pursuit of liberty and happiness means family, marriage, children, and Thanksgiving dinners.
Okay, well, that's the part that was shoved in there by the Mormon Church.
And then they, refer to billionaire climate activists, which that's laughable. There's more billionaire non-climate activists than there are. For every 1 billionaire climate activist there's 10 that are non-climate activists.
Any way to send a rebuttal to this? Just asking simple questions like, billionaire climate activist.
No, your rebuttal
that line should read, name one.
Your rebuttal is to vote blue.
Yes. And on that note, let's shift gears to our beloved solutions segment.
Okay, well, I didn't finish pillar 4, but okay.
I know, but I'm getting irritated and we're running out of time. So.
Okay, well, I was almost there.
Unless you don't want to do solutions and just, we could do that. It's up to you.
Well, we can start with pillar 4 next week and then move on to the next chapter, chapter 2.
Oh, Lord.
That was just chapter 1. That was just chapter 1.
Oh, my Lord. All right. Well, in our solutions segment, we have long been advocating for, at least like 5 episodes now, the national popular vote. This is probably our number 1 pillar for correcting the woes in our politics. The national popular vote, which would make it much easier for things to like repealing whatever the hell that is, dark money and corporations are people. What the hell? What am I getting at here?
I'm not really
sure. Thank you for not saying a damn word. This is the easiest way to get Citizens United repealed. Whew.
No, it doesn't repeal Citizens United. It would denationalize it.
I understand. I was just saying it would, getting this, it would make repealing that easier.
Yes. Yeah. And it would lessen the effect of it. Yeah. Definitely. And get us more toward majority rule instead of what we have right now as minority rule.
Yeah. Well,
because people in low populous states like Wyoming and that get an equal vote to big populous states like New York and Illinois, because each senator, there's 1 for each senator, and they all have 2. So by popular vote.
Yeah. No, I agree. Okay. But yeah, go to www.nationalpopularvote.com and get on the petition.
And if your state has not signed on to that, contact your representatives. Try to get it to work through your state, because we're really close. We only need like 60 more electoral votes.
Yep, so that's like 5 or 6 more states.
Yeah. And then that compact would go into effect, and it would be the popular vote, electoral college, goodbye.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That'd be good.
And we you also found another
turnout pack where you can do things like write postcards to swing state voters, reminding them to vote, and things like that. And you can volunteer for that. You they send you addresses, and you buy postcards and write them out and mail them. It's a real great activity. The new thing that I would add this week is, let's see, Public Citizen and their efforts on overturning Citizens United.
Nice.
Yeah, so they give an overview of there's 842 local government resolutions calling for a constitutional amendment to overturn Citizens United. 22 states and Washington, D.C. have called for constitutional amendments, and 121 members of Congress are co-sponsoring legislation. And at the www.citizen.org, you can find out more about it, and click on each one of those efforts and maybe get involved in trying to convince your congressperson or your local government to sign on, to start a constitutional amendment process.
Cool.
So that's my addition to the solutions segment this week.
www.citizen.org.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we've added them up there. So please let your fingers do the walking and take a trip to these web pages and, do what you can. I know it doesn't seem like much, but if we all do it, something bound to happen. Never know.
Yeah.
Never know until you try it.
Like a flock of birds eventually will turn.
Yes. At some point. And hopefully not get shot down by the hunters. But whatever. Okay. Well, another episode in the books. I would like to thank my co-host Dawn for her delve into the wacky and disgusting world of Project 2025.
More next week. We're going to chapter 2.
Next week, chapter 2. And I'm going to have to get you a new pair of waders, because that's got to be some nasty trogging. Yeah. And please let your friends know about the show if you like it. Send us a word. Let us know. And hopefully, everybody will enjoy the show. And if nothing else, send in a letter or an email or something to say, let Dawn do the show on her own, get rid of that crazy guy. That'd be fine too. We'll figure it out.
Or vice versa, whatever.
But thank you all for watching, and we will see you next week on Left is Right. So, sayonara.
I needed money, God, I had none. I fought the law, and the law won.
Well, I just wanted to say, look, welcome to the end of democracy. We're here to overthrow it completely. We didn't get all the way there on January 6th, but we will endeavor to get rid of it.
I never talked this way about him. You probably know. Until I got, who is this? Is he a friend? You can get him out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go ahead. You can throw him out.
I needed money, God, I had none.